Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time round 1 action from the MLG Dallas tournament, featuring Flabulous, or as he's better known on the internet as MrBitter, spawning as the Blue Zerg, and his opponent will be Ecca, spawning as the Green Terran. We are on MLG Scrap Station here, and MrBitter, one of the popular internet streamers and personalities, and many of you probably seen his 12 Weeks with the Pros series, where he has pro players on to coach him live, and he streams it, and it's a very valuable resource as we see him sending out this drone here to scout, and this is a really early scout, so we'll be interested to see what he's going to be doing with that. But yeah, the 12 Weeks with the Pros is quite a valuable resource, especially if you're a Zerg player. You can pick up a lot of tips and tricks, and if you're not a Zerg player, I often pick up tips just on the other races based on what the coaches are saying. He has In Control, he's had Idra on, all sorts of pros, so pretty popular series, and this will be his first big LAN tournament as he has been practicing quite a bit, and he's about a 3.7k Masters player in the first season, so he's a pretty good player on his own, plus he gets the coaching from such high level players. As you see this scouting drone down to 2 HP, now 3, gaining a little bit more HP as time goes by, but one more shot and it will go down, and it looks like going for a gas steal here, and a very early gas steal, but he was able to do a good amount of damage to a few SCVs here and just be generally annoying. He can cancel that if he chooses, and it looks like he will. The drone has gained a little bit of HP while it was in the geyser there, and now it looks like he will be killing an SCV here, so taking down this SCV that was creating this barracks, and Ecca going to have to replace that, but MrBitter already up one drone as he is getting down a fast hatch, and this is something that he does favor in most matchups, is a fast hatchery, and he's actually been doing a lot of infestor play, and with the 1.3 patch coming out, increasing the DPS of that fungal growth. Be interested to see how much stronger his infestor play gets in ZVT. Typically he likes to get out some early upgrades with Lings, and then he doesn't go mutas like most players do in the ZVT matchup, so pretty interesting playstyle. Be fascinating to see how far he can get in this MLG Dallas tournament. Looks like we have a bit of a pause issue there as both players starting back up, though you or I wouldn't have noticed that, and getting down a spawning pool, not getting any gas, so we will not have speed to defend this early hatchery. And a lot of times Terran players, Protoss also, like to apply pressure when they do see the Zerg fast expanding. Looks like Bitter sending up a number of drones over here, transferring right as this hatchery does come up, and it looks like Ecca at this point getting up his own expansion or starting a command center in his base there. I'm not sure Bitter knows about this yet though, so right now he's just seen the one barracks, he's not seen any gas, and Ecca, actually neither player is going for gas at this point. MrBitter getting out 2 queens in the early going here, and has decent saturation at both his main and his natural, up to 21 drones compared to the 15 of his opponent. Now getting a spine crawler at the natural just to try to defend against any sort of early marine pressure, but Ecca is being very passive at this point. Just has a few marines at the bottom of this ramp to try to deny any sort of scouting. Looks like he will be getting down a bunker here to try to defend this natural, as he will soon be lifting this off, placing it down, though he might want to make it into an orbital first, get those mules up and running. If we check the harvester count, it is 17 to 22, so Bitter 5 drones ahead at this point, and he's just churning out more and more economy. Still no gas, so we will not have speedlings, and he won't be able to get up to lair tech and infestors or mutalisks in the early going here until he takes these gas. So I'll be interested to see how he's able to make this transition without gas. We're at the 530 mark, and it looks like he's poking up here with some lings. He's going to see those marines and the bunker, so he's going to know that his opponent's probably expanded behind this, as this is a very defensive opening for Ecca. And Ecca really doesn't have that many units. He's got these 2 bunkers. If MrBitter has enough lings, he might be able to do some sort of run by, but Ecca at this point pretty safe, as MrBitter only has 2 lings. He's got up to 25 drones, now 21 SCVs for Ecca, and MrBitter just continues to drone, now throwing up all 4 gas at once. So these gas coming up, I wonder if he will be saturating all 4, as this is really going to be rapid gas transition here. It looks like the first 2 are saturated, and now saturating the 3rd and possibly the 4th as well, and just continues to drone up. He knows his opponent is not going to be very aggressive at all. He's going to do a backdoor scout here with this Overlord. He's going to see just the 2 barracks at this point. One of them is getting a reactor on it, but Ecca going to do his best to take some Marines here and take out this Overlord, MrBitter's actually going to be able to get a good Marine count here. He's going to know that Ecca might have brought the majority of his Marines to take this down. So he can feel pretty safe knowing there's only about 7 or 8 Marines, though Ecca did leave a few units here in these bunkers. And just more and more drones and economy coming out for MrBitter. Looks like he's got a third and a fourth queen actually up. He's now got 4 queens on the field, and they're spreading creep massively. There are a lot of active tumors here. Down to just 1 Ling, 14 more on the way. He's got double evolution chambers up, starting on the melee attack and the carapace. So he knows his opponent is being quite passive here and just droning up behind it and doing a bit of upgrading as well. Trying to hide these Zerglings in the smoke here as the scan has gone down. And wow, check out all these creep tumors that are active. He's going to be able to spread so much creep here, and that's something you really want with these speedlings. And it makes infestors pretty quick as well. Looks like we do have an infestation pit out for MrBitter, so he will be going for some sort of infestor play. He's got a nice amount of banked up gas. He's got about 400 right now. So more drones coming out, another 7. So he will soon really shoot ahead of his opponent. He's got 35 right now compared to the 33 of Ecca. Ecca not really sure what he's doing at this point. He's got a 3rd barracks coming, a factory as well. I imagine he may be transitioning with this factory just to a starport, get out a few medevacs. He is getting the +1 infantry weapon upgrade from this engineering bay, and now a 4th barracks goes down, so we will see a lot of bio play from Ecca. If we check the production tab, looks like even more drones coming out from MrBitter. He's got 9 more on the way. He's got 42 at the moment, so he'll soon shoot up to 51 compared to the 37 harvesters of his opponent. He's got a decent amount of Lings here, kind of keeping this midfield safe, and he's going to be able to get a decent idea of when Ecca moves out, and it looks like that time's going to be right now. Stem's about to finish, +1 should finish by the time Ecca gets over to the Zerg base. And it looks like pathogen glands as well as the infestors are coming out. Infestors about 30 more seconds, and you see the pathogen glands are going to finish right before the infestors pop out, so they will have that 75 energy, but I'm not sure it's going to be in time as the Terran player, again, not Protoss, moving out, taking down these 2 queens. MrBitter losing these for almost nothing. Probably should have retreated with those. Trying to move a spine crawler behind the smoke here, get it down in position, but 5 more seconds until that does get burrowed. Looks like that will go down. Out come the infestors, and he does not have many Lings at this point. He's going to have to get a money fungal growth off, and a very nice fungal growth as we see Lings coming from the front and the back. A number coming, trying to take out reinforcements. Another fungal growth going down, and it looks like Lings will be able to clean this up for MrBitter. So very nice defense. It looks like he lost perhaps 1 infestor there, as he is down to 3. And now taking back map control, and the retreating forces of Ecca are going to pull back to these bunkers, going to load those up once again so that he is safe. And I wonder what kind of transition he's going to be doing. It looks like he's getting an armory as well as a starport, as these Zerglings are working on the backdoor rocks or the destructible debris of Ecca, hoping to open up another attack path, really bypass these bunkers. And it looks like MrBitter taking a 3rd right now, and he's got decent creep spread continuing. Even though he did lose that 3rd and 4th queen, he had so many active tumors, he's going to be able to continue to spread creep throughout the entire map here. As you see, he has got almost a 1/3 of it, maybe even closer to a half of the map here covered in creep. As really needs to get these 2nd upgrades working. Looks like he's getting melee attack level 2 and can get carapace level 2 as well, and also working on a hive. He does have a spire up, so maybe going for a transition into broodlords. So at this point, just using upgraded Lings as well as a few infestors to defend in the early going against these bio forces of the Terran player. Again, pushing out is Ecca. No medevacs though, so the medevac's very good to heal through that fungal growth. Now it looks like Bitter coming down here with a number of infestors. He's got 7 infestors getting off of fungal growth, but a little bit of a misrally there by those infestors. They're all going to be focused down by Ecca, so losing a number of infestors he did not need there, but in the end able to clean up this little bit of pressure from the Terran player. And it looks like Ecca had actually gotten up a command center, so hoping to push out, take map control, and perhaps land it down at this 3rd, but MrBitter going to keep the pressure on. These destructible debris being worked on right now by these Lings, and it looks like at this point Ecca just does not have enough units. He needs to load up those bunkers, try to play a little bit defensive here, and get out some medevacs. So it looks like 2 are on the way to really support those bio units. MrBitter also taking this gold and adding a few more gas as well. So adding those gas to support extra infestors, we see another 2 infestors coming out, as well as 2 corruptors, the Greater Spire about halfway complete, and he's really going to want to try to take down this command center before it can be turned into a planetary fortress. It's such a pain for a Zerg player until they do get those Broodlords or Ultras to take down the planetary fortress. Looks like the planetary fortress being morphed in right now, but that command center needs to cancel the planetary fortress, now having to lift that off and taking a ton of damage here. Infestors moving in, they could get a great fungal on these SCVs. And there's the fungal, so a mighty fungal there, taking down a lot of SCVs. And the Zerglings just cleaning up these bio units. Now in come the medevacs, so doing a decent job keeping these Marauders and Marines alive. They really help against the unit composition that MrBitter does have, but it looks like 2 Broodlords are on the way. Also another 22 Lings, so these upgraded Lings, along with the Broodlords, those Broodlings actually share upgrades with the Lings. So a lot of DPS coming out for MrBitter at this point, and Ecca really needs to get this command center transferred into a planetary fortress, needs to repair it up, do a little bit of a transfer here. It looks like he's doing that right now. If we check the income counting station, is 64 harvesters to 54. Bitter's actually taking down 13 workers compared to the 1 that Ecca has. And now we see the infestors getting another great fungal growth here, and really nice fungals throughout. A second one going down, so all these units, and now Broodlords coming in from the right side. All these units for Ecca are going to be going down, and now streaming in 3 and 4 at a time. These Marines and the Marauders not going to have very much success against the Lings. We do see Planetary Fortress almost complete there, but forced to cancel and lift off once again. And now the Lings will be moving in to the natural, along with some Broodlord support. And the Broodlords are just so powerful against this unit composition if you do not have out Vikings. And the GG coming from Ecca, MrBitter taking this first game, and he actually takes this series. The second replay was not uploaded. I'm not even sure if they played it, but taking this game from Ecca in pretty convincing fashion. It is just a first round game, so I will try to bring you second round action from MrBitter coming up, and more MLG action all weekend long. Check out my channel Matron StarCraft if you're looking for more StarCraft 2 commentary and analysis. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.